Hello everyone, this is Dr. Neeta and I welcome you all to our time management workshop. So today we are going to discuss about few time management techniques. So let's begin with today's session. Number 1, organize work around energy levels. Plan your work around your energy levels, scheduling critical work for peak productivity times. So in this workshop already I have shared with you few quiz wherein you can actually find out your productive time. Also you can find out your chronotype. So based on that you just find out which is the time of day wherein you are more productive. Whatever task within your to-do list you find it's critical, which needs more efforts, more energy. What you have to do is you have to schedule those things for this peak productivity time, and that's how actually you can complete your whole day task. Plan your day the night before. Spend a few minutes each evening before going to bed to write down everything you need to get down tomorrow. So, well in advance, if you plan your day, it will become very easy to actually throughout the day going through all the activities. It is very easy to spend that much time on those activities which are very important for you, and just prioritize them, schedule them a night before, so that on the next day if something urgent comes, you know that what are things are there and how I have to actually reschedule my task and everything. So planning makes you more productive. Moving ahead, third is start the day with critical work. Each day, identify the most crucial task to complete and tackle it first. Once you are done, the day has already been success. So most important task you have to finish first, because what will happen if you keep it delay or just procrastinating on those kind of things, actually it may become urgent and important. That is quadrant 1, and quadrant 1 is always stressful. So to avoid those things, what you have to do is whatever important tasks are there, just schedule it A B C. The most important task you have to take in hand first, complete it, and then actually whatever less important tasks are there, you have to actually give time to those tasks. So whatever work you are doing at the start of work, it needs to be very important work. Fourth is prioritize task. Prioritize true task, urgent and important, to-dos that have a direct impact on your goal. So what you have to do is once you finalize your goals, whatever are your most important five goals, upper five means that is very important for you, which includes your life purpose, which includes all the major goals you have to achieve. So those things which are really contributing, doing something is actually helping you to achieve your major goals also. Actually based on that, always you need to prioritize your task, because fulfillment of those tasks will give you motivation, enthusiasm, and obviously your productivity will improve, and ultimately your goals obviously will fulfill. You will get more success in your life. So prioritizing task is very important. Fifth is delegate or outsource task. Delegate or outsource urgent but not important tasks to multiply yourself and keep you focused on the most important work. Now, for example, if you are a person, you are a manager, and you're not that much good in technical things which you need to learn, or it may consume more of your time. So what you can do is whatever people are expert within those kind of technical things, you may allocate those kind of things which are time consuming to those people. Even that task is not that much urgent, not even not important, so why to waste time on those things? You give them proper direction, guidelines, support them in all way, and just delegate those tasks. There are several tasks which actually other may do on behalf of you. If you delegate those tasks, actually more amount of time you'll get to do more important thing, and that's how also you can become more efficient and you can use your time more productively. So delegation plays a very important role in time management. We'll have a separate session on delegation. It's important in leadership, it's important in goal setting, it's important in time management. So for all efficient things, actually learning to delegate is very important thing. So moving ahead with the next one, automate repetitive task. Use technology to automate daily repetitive tasks and use the newfound time to perform deep work or rest. So nowadays technology has actually gone very far away and you can find each and everything automate. You'll get so many tools, so many apps, so many softwares to actually automate your task. So whatever tasks are your daily task, you can actually just prepare some kind of tool or app or give those kind of things priority so that you don't have to waste time on those kind of repetitive thing on the daily basis, and that's how you can save your time. So make it automatic. Next is set time constraints. Set deadlines even when you don't need to. Scheduling less time to complete tasks and force your brain to focus. That's very important. There are some times wherein you don't have that much pressure of deadline, but still you need to actually schedule it properly, and you should keep in mind the time constraint, because if you'll not give some deadline, until and unless there is no deadline, actually you'll find it again going into the first quadrant, that is urgent. Whenever again it is become urgent, so it's a crisis situation. You may know many examples. Whatever last dates are given, wherever, though it is examination form filling or submission of any kind of project or any kind of work, wherever we give one complete month, 2 months, 6 months, but actually people don't care about that much timeline, and everyone just rush at the last moment whenever there is a deadline at that moment of time, and then it becomes urgent, and at that moment of time actually any problem may come, and because of that problem you may actually lose the opportunity. So what is the best thing is make it organized properly. Whatever things are important for you, of course you need to finish it at any moment of time. So why don't you do not create some kind of constraints? If you'll give or set some deadlines for yourself, it will be always better. So set time constraint for yourself. Eliminate distraction. Half an hour completely focused on a task is more productive than 2 hours switching between tasks. Eliminate distraction from your work to avoid task switching cost. Now, whenever you're focused and you're concentrating one thing at one time, research has shown that you will be more productive. So whatever time, for example, half an hour, within this half an hour time, without distraction, some task you have taken in your hand, you may finish it within less amount of time. It may require half an hour, but you may finish it within 15-20 minutes because you were focused. And the same task you are doing along with distraction, even though you'll sit a long time, 2 hours, 4 hours, but you'll find still you are lagging here and there, and you are not actually completing the task because your productivity become lesser. You lose your focus, concentration, and that's how you actually become less efficient. So that's how you need to work on eliminating distractions. The more focused you become, the less time that task will take, and the accuracy level will also improve and enhance. So that's how distraction actually you need to avoid, and you to come out of this you need to try that without distraction sessions within one day. You should have such kind of session twice or thrice a day, first 10 minutes, then 20 minutes, and then half an hour. Like that you can keep on increasing the time and give yourself that do not disturb sessions wherein you just focus on one task at a time. moving ahead with the next. Make quick decisions on things that don't matter. Invest your focus on big decisions and make quick calls on medium and small decisions. So you need to identify which things are very, very important. And wherever you find tasks which are not that much important, don't waste time in taking a decision on those things, longer time to take decisions. Just like choosing things or choosing options or just finding something, you need to take decision. Okay, whether it is needed to take that much time for this particular thing, and just move on to next one. Don't waste time if that thing is not matters to you or very, very important to you. Actually, what happens is many of the time, if we are not organized, in that case we need to spend more of the time on unproductive things. For example, if we are not keeping important documents on place, of course we need to spend a lot of time on searching the documents and we will not get these things, then the situation again goes to crisis one. So the thing is, whatever things doesn't matter much, you don't have to spend much time on that. So need to find out which are important things, where need to actually need to be more cautious and give longer time for the decisions, and which are those things which doesn't matter that much. So even though I take quick decision, it may not matter that much on the final output. So that's how you need to actually prioritize things. Next is track your time. Track your time to have real data on your work and uncover insights on how you can improve your productivity. So that is very important whenever you are working at that moment of time, how much time actually you are giving to certain tasks. Whether you are just giving time to important things, it is whether it is giving me some result, or I'm just keep on busy but I'm not that much productive. Busy and productive, these two things are totally different. You may get busy or make yourself busy within things which are unproductive, which is not going to give you any kind of result. So you always need to track on your time, where you are spending your time, where the real data you are getting from your work. All this kind of thing you need to track so that you can improve your productivity. Best procrastination with 2 minute rule. Now this is very important rule wherein you actually decide whether this is important for me to do now, or I don't have to waste my time within this. So use the 2 minute rule to beat procrastination. If the task can be done in 2 minutes, just do it. If it takes more than 2 minutes, then start it. That's how actually we can overcome procrastination. Otherwise, we will just keep on postponing things and that thing will never happen. So use 2 minute rule. Within 2 minute rule, you have to decide whether it's going to happen or not. If it's not going to happen, then I have to do it right now. That's how you need to beat procrastination. Next is say no more often than yes. Say no by default to anything that doesn't contribute to your top 5 career goal. So always you need to focus on your top 5 career goals, and if the tasks are not supportive to your most important career goal, in that case you may say no. And most of the time you'll find that many things which are not important or which is not contributing to your most important goals that are coming to you, in that case you have to say no more than yes. So that's fine, you need to get convinced for that and need to learn to say no. Take advantage of gap time. Use gap time effectively to develop new skills, strategic planning, and personal growth. So, whenever you get some time at that moment of time, just be productive within that gap time also. Whatever gap time you are getting, just try to utilize that time in learning new skills, just designing good strategic planning, whatever things contributing in your personal or your professional growth, just try to utilize that time for those things. Again, it's adding to your productivity. Just observe things, try to analyze things, strategize things, just plan ahead. So in that case, whatever gap time you are getting, within that time also you will remain productive, and that's how it's a additional advantage or within that gap time also. So of course there needs to be gap time, and within that gap time also you need to be focused on something which is very very productive. Next is 80-20 rule. So 80-20 is the theory of your time. Use 80-20 rule in your life and work to prioritize input that brings the majority of the output. Now you must be knowing this rule that most of means 80% of the result actually we get in our life from the 20% of input. Just like there are several examples, means if you'll see the total land, 20% people own 80% land. If you'll talk about wealth, 20% people actually owns 80% of the wealth, and remaining 80% has only 20% wealth from the total world. And these rules are applicable everywhere, not only with the land or wealth, but it's everywhere. You just think of 80-20 rule, just like whatever number of clothes you are having, actually at a certain amount of period of time you use only 20%, rest 80% remain unused in a certain amount of time. So this was the example, but how it's applicable in time management is, whatever tasks are yielding or giving you important result or productive result, you need to identify where I am investing my time, from where I am getting more productive result. So invest time within those tasks which is actually giving you 80% results. So invest your more time in the more productive task, and that's how actually you can apply 80-20 rule in time management. Next is automate decisions. To avoid mental exhaustion, automate decisions to free yourself from cognitive burden and not rely solely on your self-discipline. Let decisions happen automatically, and smart decisions will happen by themselves. So many of the time we stuck in some kind of decisions wherein actually we get stuck so much that we can't move ahead. So in that case, what you have to do is, sometime you need to actually automate those things. Just give some prior conditions and give some rules. Okay, this is how I need to apply this rule, and that's how I will automate my decisions, and that's how you can actually make more in the less time, and you can become more efficient by automating your decisions. So you need to apply some kind of strategy, some kind of formula, some kind of rule wherein you could automate your decisions. Single task. Force your brain to single task in order to do deep work and avoid task switching cost. So we have already discussed about distraction. So other than that, opposite to that, single task, wherein I am just focusing one task at a time. If I'll focus on one task at a time, I'll get deep into that, and actually I'll get more out of it, and it will be more efficient. I can actually complete that task in lesser amount of time rather than multitasking thing. It has proved, research has proved that multitasking is not going to yield you any result. So that's why this strategy actually work, wherein you allocate one single task at a time, focus on that particular task, and then finish it, and then switch on to the next. And that's how actually you could use this strategy for better time management. Next is break down big task. Break down big tasks into smaller ones to avoid procrastinating and help you stay on track to achieve your final goal. So many of the time, it finds that the task is very big, and that's how we procrastinate. We think that it will take a lot of time, and that's how actually we could not find any kind of solution, and that's why automatically we start procrastinating it. So what you have to do is you have to actually divide that bigger task into smaller one. If you find even one smaller task will take more time, in that case even you keep on dividing that smaller task into the bits and pieces, so that the chunk of time actually required for the smallest unit, you give that much time to that particular part, and that's how in the bits and pieces you can complete your bigger task in the small task by giving some timeline, deadlines and targets, and that's how actually you can finish. So rather than taking the whole task at a time, divide it into smaller parts and take one part at a time, and that's how actually you can finish the bigger task very efficiently and smartly. Work from the calendar. Plan and schedule your calendar ahead of time to avoid distractions and be in charge of your time. So, at least your month or 2 months calendar needs to be ready. You actually must know what you're going to do within this month, what you are going to do within next month. So, if in advance you have planned your calendar, it will be very easy for you to actually give time to important things first. Prioritizing, scheduling will become easier, and everything will become smoother. And if in the haphazard way you keep on adding things within your calendar, actually it may become chaos. So work in advance. In the planning stage, your calendar needs to be ready time ahead, so that will again improve your efficiency and productivity. Take fewer but better meetings. Only take meetings that have a clear agenda and a decision needs to be made. To run better meetings, have an end time and keep the number of participants small. Again, research has proved that many of the time the meetings are not productive, and it's never give, not never, but many of the time it happens that more of the time it happens that it's not giving any kind of productive output. So for that, what you have to do is you have to keep less number of participants within the meeting, and you need to have a very clear agenda, and at the end of meeting you should actually analyze what actually you get out of it, what kind of decisions you have take, what kind of conclusions you have come to, what kind of discussions you have done, how actually it's going to help you out. So all those kind of thing you need to finalize, but you should have very less number of meeting with less number of people. It will actually improve your quality of work, and also it will improve your productivity. Let go of perfectionism. Aiming for perfection is a surefire way to delay or never complete a project. Choose to chase good enough instead. If you go on just making things perfect, it will never end and it will be a continuous job. In that case, just find out the alternative solution of good enough. Okay, because many of the time, if you just take the example of any document, there are always opportunity, or there are always solutions that we may make it better. So if we'll keep on doing it in a better way, actually it will become a cyclic kind of thing, and it will be a never-ending task. In that case, you have to come to conclusion, decision, wherein rather than going toward perfection, you just give certain kind of parameters that okay, it's good enough. 80%, 90%, it's complete, perfect, and that's how actually you save your time. And also if you keep on running toward this perfectionism, it will actually make you frustrated at some moment of time, because it will just waste your time, and it will not going to give you any productive result out of it. Just like for example, if you are writing exam, You are on first question and you know this question very well. You keep on writing on first question, but overall, because you are spending more time on question one because you know the answer very well, what about rest questions? You need to solve the complete paper, and of course question one, if the overall marks is 10, so you are not going to get 100 out of 10. So means 10 out of 10 maximum you can get, but in that case what about rest 90 marks? You may not means you may not get sufficient time to solve other problems. In the same way, if you'll run behind perfectionism, actually you may find in crisis somewhere, because you waste most of your time on just doing things in a better way. So just convince yourself for good enough. Have a to don't list. Create a to don't list with all the habits you want to remove from your life. Use it as a guideline of what you don't allow in your life. So up till now we have just heard to do list and all this kind of thing. But actually to don't list is very important. More than to do list, you should have your to don't list. What actually I am doing in whole of my day. I first need to analyze how I'm wasting my time, how I'm spending my time, and the task which is taking more of my time and less of the result, I should keep those tasks in to don't list, and that's how I should remain focused that if I'm spending time on to don't list, of course I'm not going to get results. So I need to actually keep alert and focused about this don't do list also. So you should have, sorry, you should have this to don't list in advance, and you should work on it seriously. Batch similar task. Batch similar task and complete them at one time. Batching reduces the startup and slowdown time, daily clutter, and improve focus. So those tasks which are of similar category, you can actually batch them together, and within that batching you may finish 2 3 tasks together. So that's how you can batch them, club them together and complete those things at one time, and that's how you can save your time and improve your focus. And this is the last one, that take time off to recharge. Schedule breaks throughout your day to help you recharge and take regular vacations throughout the year. Rest is the best medicine for sustainable long-term productivity. So if you remain more focused on things, actually a time may come wherein you feel stressed and you may feel low energy. So for that, to keep yourself recharged, you need to take some recharge breaks. Within that, the whole day, you should plan your proper breaks throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, and throughout the year, to keep yourself recharged. And that's how actually it's a best medicine wherein you can improve your productivity and you can remain energized, motivated, enthusiastic. So that is what is very important thing. You need to actually recharge yourself. So thank you very much, this much for this presentation.